It is January 1st, 2021, New Year's Day. So Happy New Year. I would encourage you to sit down and take a look at what happened in 2020. If you accomplished goals that you wanted to accomplish, great. Do more of the same. Set higher and loftier goals. If 2020 didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, sit down and think about why that is and what actions that you can take to make 2021 different. Dan and I have both said numerous times that this is QLA's time, and that is absolutely true. When I think about that, well, why is it QLA's time? Number one, businesses are on sale right now, many businesses. Just remember that cash flow has to cover debt service. So don't buy a business that's in the tank thinking you can turn it around. That typically is a big mistake. One of the things that's most different about this time during coronavirus is that many of the people, this isn't different, but many of the people that do QLA don't have a lot of financial resources. If you go back to Sean's podcast, if you've listened to that, you'll find that he said that he initially didn't have enough money to go fly to his first deal. So he drove to his first deal. Well, guess what? While you still want to lay eyes on a deal, during coronavirus, you've been able to talk to board members, talk to lawyers and accountants, talk to prospective deals, all via Zoom, which is free or $14.99 a month if you have the premium version. That situation won't last forever. In the old days, as Dan has described when we did this with shoe leather, what ended up happening usually was, well, why don't you come down and talk to me about what you're doing, and we'll see if it might be a fit and whether I would want to join the board. You can do that with a Zoom call now. You could, same thing with lawyers and accountants. Well, why don't you come to our offices, tell us about what you're doing. We'll get some people from the law firm or accounting firm. We'll sit down and we'll see if that'll work for us as well. So that's another example now, and I've given this example before, when I was assembling the professionals for the deal Dan and I are doing now. I ended up having 3 accounting meetings within 2.5 hours. They were in Washington, D.C., they were in Nashville. I would have had to get on planes or drive if I was close enough, and it would have taken days. It took 2.5 hours. That window of opportunity won't be open forever. You will eventually get back to where people will say, okay, we've got a vaccine or whatever it is, now come down and see us. So I would encourage you to act with a sense of urgency that recognizes that the window of opportunity is open now. And this is the time for QLA, but that won't be the case. Will QLA continue to be able to work? Yes. But will it go back to having to travel to have these meetings? Yeah, I think it will. And for those that don't have the financial resources to get on a plane, et cetera, this is a pretty unique time. So don't let it pass. Please don't let it pass. There's free materials on Dan's site. There's free materials on my site. The Deep Dive Bootcamp recordings that I put together, that training is there if you need the scripts and how to do it and how to use the tools. All of those things are available. I would also encourage you to be exceptionally cognizant of your time and be protective of your time. Awful lot of people do things for other people because they're asked to do it. You can say no, and I always say the same thing. If you are not working your to-do list, guess what? You're working somebody else's to-do list and somebody else's goals. Towards that end, the Ivy Lee method I really like. Every night, sit down and think about the 6 things that are going to move your needle the most towards your goal, and then list them for the next day and put a time next to them when you're going to do them. And if you do that, you'll stay focused on what's most important for success and what you're going to do. So I would encourage you to remember that. Sit down, write your goals out, use the Ivy Lee. Remember that the window of opportunity isn't going to be open forever, and make 2021 your year.